Okay, so today we are doing function operations, but today we're doing multiplication and division. So I'm going to have the same f of x and g of x equations I had yesterday for my examples. So I'm going to make f of x, x squared, g of x, 2x. So for multiplication, I take the two functions and multiply them together. So I'm going to have x squared times 2x. Then I want to go ahead and multiply any big numbers I have on the outside. So I have a secret 1 out front and a 2 right here. 1 times 2 is 2. And then I add my exponents. There is a secret 1 right here. So 2 plus 1 gives me 2 cubed. Okay, then I would do the same thing for division. F is on top, so when I write out my fraction, I want to write the f function on top. I have x squared on top, 2x on bottom. Then I want to simplify this. Remember, with properties of exponents, I can subtract. So I have an exponent of 2 here and an exponent of 1 on the bottom. I'm going to have an x on the top, and then nothing changes with the 2. So it's still x over 2. Okay. So number 3 it tells me f of x is x squared, g of x is square root of x. We're going to skip the domain part. This one wants me to find multiplication because it has f times g. So I am going to multiply my two equations together. So I have x squared times the square root of x. Then remember from earlier in the chapter that I can rewrite the square root of x as an exponent of 1/2. So I'm going to rewrite that. When I have two of the same base, I can add my exponents. Then I want to go ahead and go to Desmos to add my fraction and 1/2 together. So I have 2 plus 1/2, which if I press the square over square in the left corner, gives me 5/2. So my exponent here is really 5/2. And then it wants me to evaluate when x equals 9. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 9 for x. Okay, then I want to go to Desmos and type this in. Which gives me 243. Questions on multiplying? Okay. Number 2 wants me to divide the 2. So I have f divided by g of x. F of x goes on top. G of x goes on the bottom. And I'm skipping the domain part again. Then I want to, since I'm dividing the same base, the x and x, I can subtract my exponents. Remember, this one has a secret exponent of 1. So I have f divided by g of x, and I'm going to have 6 times x to the 1 minus 3/4 power. Then I want to go ahead and do 1 minus 3/4. Which, if I turn it back into a fraction, is 1/4. So that's my equation. Then this one wants me to evaluate for when x equals 16. So I want to go ahead and plug in 16 for all of my x's. Then I want to go type this into Desmos. Which gives me 12. So this is telling me when I plug in 16, I get out 12. Questions here? Okay, I'm going to skip number 3. What I want you guys to do right now is work on 4 and 5 on the back. I'll give you 10 minutes and then we'll come back over that. So on number 4, this one is multiplying. So I want to take the 2 functions and multiply them together. Like we did in number 1, the square root of x can be changed to 1/2. Then I want to go ahead and add my 2 exponents. Then I want to go ahead and add these. I change it back into a fraction, so it's 7/2. That's my equation. Then it wants me to plug in 4 for x. I want to go to Desmos and type this in. Not this one. Which gives me 128. Number 5 is division. So I want to divide the 2 functions. F of x goes on top, g of x goes on the bottom. Then I want to subtract my exponents. I remember I have a secret one here. So I have f divided by g of x And then it's going to be 4x to the 1 minus 2/3, because I subtract with fractions. And then I want to go back to Desmos and do 1 minus 2/3. Which, if I turn this back to a fraction, is just 1/3. So this is my function. Then I want to go ahead, and this one wants me to plug in 27. So I'm going to do f divided by g of 27 equals 4 times 27 to the 1/3 power. Then I want to go ahead and type this into Desmos. Which gives me